Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Joining us is a dynamic, result-oriented professional with a master's degree in gender studies and an impressive expertise in tax auditing and public service with a suite of advanced certifications from globally recognized institutions. She is committed to driving inclusive leadership and economic empowerment, particularly among women and youth, breaking barriers, shattering glass ceilings. Welcome with us, beautiful Ebosel.
I know.
I was going to pause there. I was going to pause there, and you did not prepare me ahead because you are my in-law. I should not be stumbling on an Edo name.
You see?
All right,
I will help you.
Please.
Ebo Setale Okolebi.
Ebo Setale Okolebi. And it's such a beautiful name.
What does it mean? Yeah.
Okay, so Ebo Setale is my first name, which means whatever God says is final.
Oh, I have a nephew that is, we call him Bosa. We didn't, I didn't even, and that's his full name.
Yes. You shouldn't shorten it.
Ebo Setale, yes.
Ebo Setale, whatever God says is fine. And Okolebe means, that's my surname. It means whatever people say about you, I mean, people will slander you, but it will never kill you.
Oh my goodness,
I want your name. It's a sentence.
It's a combo. No, it's like what it means.
It's from very
what God says to what people say. Don't say it doesn't.
Yeah,
I love it. Your parents, they deserve some kudos.
It's showing.
Yeah. You are a living testimony. So, but there's a short form. What is the short?
She doesn't like it.
Just say able. That means whatever.
Number two, please don't go there.
I really love your name.
Yes.
Well, since we're talking about names, my son's name is Enai Foge.
Oh,
yes, and my daughter's name is Aima Lohi.
From
your place. Yes.
So what does Anamoli?
Aima Lohi means as God wants it, as God wills it. And then Enai Foge means the source of this blessing shall never cease.
Oh my goodness. I'm having the chills.
No, Edo names are just fantastic.
Yes, they are. They really are. But before we go into your interview and before we get to talk about the amazing things that you've done, we'd like to first gist with you. You're supposed to be like our guest co-host, so you're supposed to be like among the ladies of your view, and then we get to do what we do.
Chit-chat with us.
Yes, chit-chat with us. So we're talking about, it's not gossip, it's just that we want to learn from this particular Nollywood star called Ibrahim Charters, and his reunion with his ex-wife. So Olayinka Solomon is the ex-wife, and her current husband Olasukomi Mabinuri. This sparked reaction online because they met each other. The trio were spot embracing and exchanging pleasantries at the premiere of Tony Abraham's Yalo Day movie in Lagos. So on today's show, we're going to be analyzing the reasons some former couples enjoy cordial relationships while others can't even see eye to eye. We'll also discuss how to handle situations when your partner is very cordial with your ex. You know, you're married now, and you're seeing your ex, your husband is having such good relationship with the ex. How to avoid, stories that touch the heart, and why some people don't feel comfortable with such level of cordiality. And so you can join that conversation. We'll have Ebo Setale joining that conversation as well. You can call us on 02016352013, or you can call us on 09024163440. Now, how would you feel, put you on the spot, if you are in a relationship, the person you're in a relationship with has such cordial relationship with their ex? Would it make you feel uncomfortable, and why would you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Why would not?
First of all, I like money. I'm telling you. So if the relationship is all about, mutual benefits, which has to be financial benefits, please, why not? Go ahead. It's business now. Go ahead. I really don't mind. So I know that, you're my person.
Okay.
You're my person. Nobody's going to take that away from me.
Okay, I don't think that you are on that same...
Well,
where are you on the spectrum?
It's hard to, these things are very nuanced, right?
Yes.
Human relationships are very complex and intriguing. So it's not a cookie cutter kind of situation. To a large extent, if I were to break up with an ex and I got into a new relationship, what would determine whether I would still have a relationship? Maybe very platonic. It has to be very platonic. Maybe very civil. Maybe very civil and diplomatic would be what led to the breakup. I have an ex who I broke up with maybe 5 years. I would never ever speak to him again because there are things that he did that I cannot even say on national TV. Things that cross moral lines, familial lines. It goes very deep. We can't get into it right now. So I would never speak to this person. But I've had exes where, you know, the breakups were, it wasn't a case of he cheated or I cheated.
Amicable.
There was no violence of any sort. It just didn't work out. And the way the person breaks it to, the conversations that were had leading to the moment where the breakup happened is very, very key. However, I believe that if you are in a new relationship, specifically in marriage, by the time you get married to your person, you should know your partner enough to know what they would count as disrespect, right? Yeah. You would know what would serve as triggers for, and you taking yourself into consideration also. If your partner, your current husband, or if my current husband, for instance, was, if I were to see him being very with his ex, how would I feel? So oftentimes we're very quick to consider is that the hug? Are they hug? Is that them hugging? But I don't want to believe it.
Yeah, all three of them. Like it's a 3-in-1 hug.
No.
This is okay.
Maybe it's
the husband
very
hugging
vague,
the husband, the wife hugging.
Maybe it was for show. You know how showbiz is.
No, it could maybe they actually
it could be real. It could be real.
Okay,
it could be real.
No, but that's a point.
It could be real.
That's a point.
Anyway, it depends. It depends on
yes.
Okay, so it depends.
So from your own point of view, it's nuanced. It depends on how you broke up with that person. That would
how
determine
your partner feels about things like that. You have to respect the feelings
for you.
Of your
You're
partner.
not even bothered about yourself. It's about how my partner feels and how we broke up. So it's fine. I get you.
No, I haven't gotten to that part.
Oh, you're still going to go there.
Yes. So like I said, about me, it depends on how the but I would still create boundaries. Look, you and I know a handshake can easily become a hug, and a hug can become a shoulder to cry on can easily become what? Let's not finish the other part. So it's always important to establish boundaries.
People have started.
Boundaries for yourself, boundaries that ensures that the other person understands that this thing, you know, where exes were exes, is going to stay that way for the foreseeable future till this world ends.
Yeah, so they have history together. So they have a son together, and the son is in the US. And so the hug was in appreciation of how well you're taking care of my son who lives with you in the US.
That's
according to the story that we have. So that context is also very important. But Ramatu, how would you? I know you will not be in this situation. None of us pray to be in a situation where we have, but like this. No, this was a marriage. They had a relationship, so the marriage did not, and then every other thing happens. But if it were to happen, how would you feel?
Okay, so like now they met in a public place and all. First of all, I'm going to ask my new spouse, are you okay with me? You know. Because whatever, I have to make sure that he's comfortable.
First, actually.
Yes, I have to make sure that my spouse is comfortable with the reaction and everything. It couldn't have been a hug. It could be just a handshake, or maybe when he comes close, hello, how are you doing? And it ends, and everybody goes. But this one, they're doing all mushy and everything. I have to really consider the new guy and ask him, are you okay with it? If you're okay with it, then we go on. If you're not okay with it, it's very important that anybody that if you have an ex, if you are married and the person becomes an ex, it's very important to still keep that cordial relationship, especially if you have children involved, so that when there are things that will come up that you need your spouse to help you feeling. Like for example, when you are bringing up kids, there are times that there will be something that a child will do, and you want the father to reprimand the child. So it's very important that you keep that relationship so that you'll be able to call the father and I need you to come in. To come and help with this, come and help us. But
not if that ex was violent and aggressive to the point where your life and the life of your kids were in danger. How about that?
So if he was violent and everything, but that doesn't mean he's not the father to my child.
No, of course not. I know. So if he's a constant threat even to the well-being of the kids, you still allow.
I will.
Yes. When that context plays out, it's important to protect the minors. Yes. So, but I get what Ramatu is saying. Ramatu is saying that in the interest of the children involved, once you have a child with someone,
it changes everything.
Don't longer think about
only yourself.
Or Carfor's law of once they it might happen again. You need to ensure that we protect that child. And protecting that child means cordial relationship.
Just
Within
hello, hi.
boundaries.
Yes, and also, sorry, before you go on, and also salutation is no love. So you can just greet someone. It doesn't mean that you love the person. So it's just
Being polite
cordial.
is not.
Thank you.
Yeah. So for me, I don't know what the big deal is. It's in public. It's before everyone. There's no hanky panky. You know, this is based on the story. So our context is this hugging that's happening in front of everybody. And for me, I just think that the lesson to learn. First of all, you mentioned it. This person, the ex, hugged the new spouse first. So already there's a relationship that's been happening behind the scenes. And if it was a terrible relationship, trust me, they will not be hugging so closely.
Oh, do you know the backstory?
No, well, I don't know about the. I don't know. Oh, okay. You see, we need
there's
context.
context
We
there.
need more context because I don't know. What I know is that there are three. What we know based on what was given to us is that exes met in public and they looked like they were cordial, simple, and that's what I
An
saw.
appreciation
and
of
they showed
taking
an
care of my child.
appreciation. Yeah, so it showed that there's a relationship that in the behind the scenes that's working. You know, even if I don't know if maybe the new spouse is the reason for the breakup, you know, of that marriage. Whatever may have happened before, it looks like they have moved past it.
You walk through
And yes, or still working through it. But it shows an appreciation for the new partner. There must be something that's happening now that he recognizes that, you know, I appreciate you for that, and that's why that person gives you a hug. After all, nobody would put a gun to your head if you see someone who is toxic to you or your relationship and you don't say hi. Nobody's going to do anything to you. So for me, I think it's a lesson to learn, because there's some people who don't know how to act when they meet exes. And it's not because they feel angry, but it's just that no one has said to them, it's okay to be cordial, it's okay to say hello. So they don't know. So there's that awkwardness. But it's okay to say hello. And then if there's a need for a hug, for me, when you go as far as giving someone a hug, it must mean that there's something special that person has done. Or this
Does that
person
worry you as the
means-
current?
Well, the current is right there. And the current also hugged. So it just means
I
that
would give
there's
anything to hear the conversations that happened when they got home. I would give anything to hear.
Well, it seems like Chika has some part of this story that I'm unaware of. Based on what we're looking at, for me, it's just okay. I am married to a man who used to be married. And for me, I believe that the cordiality between my husband and his ex-wife has helped to keep our family together, because he has children from his first marriage who are just the loveliest people and love their brother and sister, my children, very well. They take their time out to spend time with them. They come to visit.
So
and imagine if I and their mom were constantly at loggerheads. I believe strongly it would affect the relationship with the children. But you know, there's respect. We're polite. You know, as long as it is respectful,
And
as long as
right?
there are healthy boundaries that have been laid down. But there's nothing wrong with a hug if it needs a hug. There's nothing wrong with a handshake. What I would not stand for is people who lie to you and say that this person is just a friend or just an ex. Meanwhile, things are happening. It is not that being cordial with your ex is the problem. It's that you in particular are deceitful to your current partner, and you're having all sorts of relationship in the background and covering it up as friendship. Now that is a problem, and that's not the issue.
True. We'll take a break. I love what we've established. We've established the importance to know how they broke up. We've established how to keep cordiality because of children, how to understand the nuances involved. Being polite isn't love, and how sometimes when you get suspicious, it's because the partner involved is actually being deceitful. When we come back, we'll deal with when you are the partner you are the new partner in that relationship and you're suspicious of that cordialness. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.